Hey guys, John from Album Review TV. Time for a review of Punk Goes 90s Volume 2, a compilation record by Fearless Record. Pretty much a yearly thing, even a semi-yearly thing almost at this point. Almost seems like a bit of a cash grab for Fearless Records. And the fact, don't even get me started on the fact that none of the bands ever featured in these compilations are punk. At the very best, they're pop punk, mostly like post-hardcore groups, so I guess Punk Goes 90s or Punk Goes Pop is more appealing to the tongue or to the ear than post-hardcore, pop punk, indie, and rock go 90s. It doesn't exactly have the same flow to it, I guess, but still kind of false advertising on Fearless Records' part. Anyways, I've always kind of been, hit and miss on these records as a whole. For me, it's kind of been like some tracks work, some of them are just way out there and do not work at all. This time around, I'd have to say that it's one of the best done compilations that they've had in a while. They've actually got some pretty cool bands on here covering songs. Hands Like Houses, Yellow Card, Memphis Mayfire actually won me over with their cover, and maybe I'll even end up checking out their new record. Get Scared, Chunk No Captain Chunk. But then there were the bands that had their misfires, like Asking Alexandria, and of course, Falling in Reverse. You want to talk about that track first? The Gangsta's Paradise cover? Because of course fucking Fallen in Reverse cover this, because I'm pretty sure Ronnie Radke thinks he is a straight up thug. He has just lived life on the streets and he just knows what it's all about. So of course Falling in Reverse, his band, pretty much just him it seems like, is covering Gangsta's Paradise. The vocals on the chorus are just, oh god, awful. They're really bad. Ronnie's transitions from rapping to singing to screaming do not flow. His singing is normally okay, but on the chorus of this one, it just seems like they overdubbed his vocals and then threw in some backing vocals, and it just, oh god, it's like nails on a chalkboard almost to me. It's not that awful, maybe that's a little bit dramatic, but still, it just doesn't sound good. And then of course he's got to do his thing where he thinks he's just an MC. Shout out to Epitaph, shout out to the... Shut the fuck up, dude. Alright, let's talk about some that I actually did like. The lead single from this was My Own Worst Enemy, originally by Lit, the band that was very briefly popular in the late 90s. Get Scared covered this one, did a phenomenal job. It's just very powerful. The guitars, I feel like, are just charged up a little bit more on this version, and I'm not going to say that I like it better, but I almost think it feels a little bit angrier, a little bit more intense, and I think it really brings out the emotions in this track a whole lot more. I've always thought it was kind of a funny track, kind of poking fun at oneself. Sometimes it kicked the living shit out of me, and in one verse, Get Scared actually says I kicked the living fuck out of me, so I thought that was a nice addition that added a little bit more of a punch there on that one. Another one that I found myself enjoying that I really did not expect myself to is the Good Riddance Time of Your Life cover, originally by my favorite band of all time, Green Day, this time covered by Ice Nine Kills. I have enjoyed some of this band's work, so I wasn't exactly sure where they would go with this. I thought it was going to be really like just screaming and just loud guitars and intense, but they actually did the song justice. I feel like it's a very solid cover. It's definitely more upbeat, more fast-paced, but I really thought that it was structured well. The band presented it well, and I think it wins as a whole. It's something that I am definitely enjoying, and like I said, it lives up to Green Day's version. Obviously nothing will ever replace that, but I think this is definitely one that pays homage to it in a very respectful way. The Southtown cover by The Ghost Inside was weird to me because that song came out in 2000, so that doesn't qualify for Punk Goes 90s, so goodbye. Yellow Card's cover was surprisingly weak, sadly. It seems like it just really tried to replicate Today by the Smashing Pumpkins, just straight up. Didn't try to add anything of their own to it. The guitar tones were exactly the same. Everything about it, the drumming, even Ryan Key, the lead singer of Yellow Card, it seems like he tried to mimic Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins' vocal style, and it didn't come out sounding good at all to me. In fact, I'm very disappointed and let down by Yellow Card on this cover. The Color Morale surprised me with their cover of Everlong by the Foo Fighters, one of you know, Foo Fighters' best tracks in my opinion, one of the classics. It does get a little bit overplayed, but I really do like the touch. The Color Morale, someone I don't normally listen to. I really like the touch that they added to this. Another band that I'm not usually into is Hands Like Houses. They did a cover of Torn. I believe that was originally by Michelle Branch, if I'm not mistaken. I think that they really put their own spin on that one and took something that was originally sung by a female vocalist and put a nice different perspective on it. Closer by Asking Alexandria. The first couple of minutes of it wasn't too bad at all. It really did mimic the original style, and then it just kind of went off into this whole crazy thing, and it kind of got lost. It totally lost focus, and sadly disappointed me. Closer definitely being one of my favorite songs of all times, originally by 9 Nails off of a classic album that I will review at some point, The Downward Spiral. Asking Alexandria, I think they gave it their best effort, but ultimately they just kind of failed on this track as a whole and kind of lost the original vision that I feel like they might have had for the track. The last track I want to talk about is by Chunk No Captain Chunk. Phenomenal job, my favorite cover on the whole thing. Originally by Smash Mouth, they did a cover of All Star, and this thing is just slamming with guitars, and the vocal performance, dare I say, is better than Smash Mouth's. I was expecting this to be like a lot of screamed. I'm kind of torn on Chunk No Captain Chunk, because sometimes they do really well with things, and then again other times it comes off like too much or too cheesy for me. But they really struck a great balance here on this track and just did a great justice. Brought back my childhood here doing a cover of All Star. What have you guys thought of this compilation record as a whole? Punk Goes 90s Volume 2. For me, I'm feeling a 3.5 out of 5 for this compilation record. I think it's definitely, like I said, one of the more solid entries into this series in a while, and I feel like there was just too much of a mixture. Once again, there were some really strong ones, and then there were some really weak ones. So what did you guys think, and are you loving it, you hating it, why? Let me know in the comments section. Make sure you hit the like button on this review, subscribe to the channel, you can do that below as well. Share the video with a friend if you'd like, help the channel grow. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to try to get a review out of either Chiodo's Devil or else RAC's Strangers within the next week or so, along with obviously a lot of new other albums coming out. Anyways guys, thanks for watching Album Review TV. Beyond the Reviews.